Welcome to Referencing Bites. We've made these quick videos to help you to understand referencing at Bournemouth University. In this episode, we'll cover the basics of using the Harvard or author-date method to reference material published by others in your written work. We'll show you how to create brief author-date citations within the text of your essay to show that you're referring to someone else's work, and how to create full lists of references at the end of your essay so that others can find the sources you have used if they need to. We'll also show you how to use referencing guides that help you to write references to different types of information. Harvard, or author-date, references consist of two parts. The first is called a citation in the text. This is basically a brief note that you add to your sentence to show that you are referring to somebody else's work. The citation in the text always includes the author's surname and the year that the source was published, within some brackets. This is why Harvard style is sometimes called the author-date method of referencing. The citation in the text directs the reader to the second part of your reference. This full reference is a lot more detailed, as it needs to include all of the information somebody would need to find an exact copy of the publication you're referring to. You need to write these full references in an alphabetical list at the end of your assignment. Because these also start with the author and date, it's easy to find which reference your citation in the text is referring to. There are slightly different ways to reference different types of information. For example, a reference to a book contains slightly different information to a reference to a journal article. You can find examples of how to reference all of the different types of material that you're likely to use in your work in the BU Guide to Citation in the Harvard style. This provides a standard so that everyone can reference consistently, and the references you create will be marked on how closely they match the examples in the Harvard Guide. You can find the BU Guide in the referencing section on the Academic Skills tab of My BU. An easy way to reference is to find the relevant example in the BU Guide and adapt it to the document you're referencing. To make this even easier, we've also produced quick guides. Again, you can access these from the referencing section of the Academic Skills tab. Let's have a closer look at using the quick guides to reference a book with a single author. The first thing I need to do is to find the right guide. From the Academic Skills tab, I click to open the referencing section and then click on Quick Guides. This brings up a list of guides for different information types. I'm referencing a book with one author, so I'm going to click to open the relevant HTML guide. This shows me all the details I need to create my reference and also gives me a worked example. To make life simple, I'm going to cut and paste the standard from the referencing guide into the reference list in my essay, and then just edit the details to match the book I'm referencing. Highlight the standard and right-click on the highlighted text to copy the text into the computer's clipboard. Over in my essay, I need to paste the reference into the right place. Don't forget your list needs to be in alphabetical order depending on the author's surname. The author for my reference begins with W, so this reference is going to come near the end of my reference list. I need to select Paste from the Word menu to paste in the example from the quick guides. All I have to do then is edit the details to match the details for the book I'm trying to reference. For most books, you'll find all the bibliographic details close to the front of the book on what are called title or copyright pages. So I'm just going to edit the details of the example to the details for the book I'm trying to reference. You need to leave in all the punctuation and formatting because this helps the reader to make sense of your reference. For example, the title here is in italics, and that helps the reader to see that it's the title of the book. For books of first edition, you don't need to include the edition statement. If it's a second or third edition, it will tell you within the copyright pages of the book. place of publication is the city where the book was published, and the publisher is the name of the company that published the book. You can apply this technique to any different type of information. Simply find a relevant example from the quick guides, copy it into your reference list, and edit the details for the item you're trying to reference. To recap, at Bournemouth University, we use a style of referencing called the Harvard style. In Harvard style referencing, you use a brief author-date citation in the text to indicate that you are referring to other people's work or ideas. This directs the reader to a more detailed reference that you create in an alphabetical list at the end of your essay. You can find examples showing you how to reference different types of publications in the BU Guide to Citation in the Harvard style, or in our quick guides. You can find further materials on referencing and plagiarism on the Academic Skills tab in My BU. If you're struggling with referencing, you can email academicskills@bournemouth.ac.uk for further support.